All right, so I'm recording these instructions because I'm not sure if I'm going to be around in person or not for this project. It's all going to depend on when our baby decides to make her appearance into the world, and so I just wanted to go ahead and record these instructions prior to, just in case I am gone, because this is a different type of project than what we've worked on so far this year. This is a kind of menu item type project in the sense that you get to select which items you want to work on. And depending on which items you choose to work on, it's all going to add up eventually to a final grade. And so I want to go over those instructions with you real quick and hopefully explain it well enough where you don't have a ton of questions that the sub won't have to answer for you. That you can kind of go back and take a look at these instructions and it will cover everything. So first thing I want you to note is the fact that there are multiple rows here, and you guys should have a paper copy of this as well. I'm going to zoom in here just so you can kind of see a little bit better on the video. We've got 3 different rows of instructions or options for different parts of the project that you can do. So row A, these are all worth 20 points. You can complete the activity on pages 408 and 409 in your textbook. Should Texas secede, yes or no? And you're going to answer the 3 DBQ questions there on notebook paper. You've already done primary source analysis, so this should be somewhat easy for you. You've had some background on assignments like this already this 6 weeks, so I'm not going to say it'll be a breeze, but it is something you should be familiar with. You could also, for 20 points, create a timeline of the cause and events that we've covered leading up to the Civil War. And you must include 8 causes and events that we covered in order to get a complete 20 points for this one. And they obviously have to be in order as well, based on the fact that it's a timeline. Or you could create a crossword puzzle that incorporates Unit 6 vocab, 5 clues down, 5 clues across. And I'll scroll down here. This is a blank crossword puzzle blueprint, I guess, that you could use. And just really quickly, I'll go back to this slideshow real quick, and again, you'll have access to this on Schoology. This is a crossword puzzle, and so you can see, one across, speak freely. You would start with the 1 and work your way across, and that would also give you hints for numbers 2, 3, and 4 down. Would give you the starting letter. And so you can kind of structure it how you need to structure it to make it work for you. But that is your other option, your last option for row A for the 20 points. You could create your own crossword puzzle based on your vocab for this unit. Row B, you can create a newspaper article covering one of the causes and events as if you were actually there. And it must look like a newspaper article and include 1 image that's colored. You can either illustrate that yourself and draw it out, or you can type this up and add in a picture. Either way. Now, I will tell you if you need some background information, if you're not familiar with how newspaper articles are structured, you can look up things like the Herald Democrat, or at my desk under my cabinets beside my organizers on my desk. There is a book called Texas Extra by Eric C. Karen, and that is actually a culmination of a bunch of different newspaper articles going all the way back to the Texas Revolution. So that's an option as well for you if you want to take a look at that. I might have to just kind of pass that around if multiple people choose that option. Row B continued, the next 30-point option, create a rap or a song for one of the causes of the Civil War. I'll need a copy of your lyrics, and it says you will be required to email a video or perform, and you can perform during class if you want while I'm back. Obviously, I'm going to have to wait till I come back for that because I have to see that. But otherwise, you can just send me a video of you performing that for the class. I won't, if you're embarrassed to perform it in front of everybody, I'm not going to show the video, but that is another option. Your last option on row B is to create a campaign poster for the U.S. election. of 1860. You can pick one of the candidates out of the ones that we talked about. It must include their political party, their campaign slogan, and their major ideas of their platform in one picture. So you're going to need to do some research online. And I do have an example from last year, and you've probably seen it in my room before. It's over on the far wall, and it's Abraham Lincoln. That was Landry Lay's project from last year, and so you can take a look at that one if you want to kind of get an idea of what I'm looking for on that. But you will have to provide your own poster board for that one. Row C, complete the DBQ titled Why Did Texas Secede? And each section will need to be completed, and the big question needs to be answered with a minimum of 8 sentences with 3 examples from the document. So kind of taking this idea from up here and going into a lot more detail. The next one, create a PowerPoint presentation with a minimum of 10 slides covering in depth the causes or events leading up to the Civil War. Images included, and it must be sent to me. And then the last option, write an essay supporting your opinion on whether or not Texas should have seceded from the Union, with an introduction, 3 body paragraphs, and a conclusion. So those are your options. Now, what does all this mean? So we've got 3 rows of different options with different point totals. So let's get down to your actual instructions. You have to choose activities that at least total up to 70 points. Although no more than 100 points are given, you have to make sure that your choices equal up to 70 points. So, for instance, you could choose one from row C, which would be 40 points, and one from row B. Okay, that would be 70 points. That would reach your minimum point total that you would need in order to pass. So you need to make sure you're choosing wisely. If you are like, well, these are all easy, I'll just do all these. Well, that would only equal 60 points, and that's not going to get you your point total. So you have to kind of be a little choosy with some of these. Now, if you decided to do, a 40, 30, and a 20, that would get you 90 points. And so that may help you as I go through and grade that you kind of went above and beyond, well above and beyond where you had to go. So when you're going to go through here, I would first, as it says, circle your options, what you want to do. When I come back, I want to be able to kind of nail down what you're wanting to do for your project. That way I can get an idea of how I can help you. It says all the activities need to thoroughly cover the following when possible. And these are the different issues that we talked about, some of the causes of the Civil War. So this will be an assessment grade. You're going to be given at least 4 days, if not 5 days in class. So kind of plan how you need to make that work for you. All projects are due, and this date is off. This is from last year. Ultimately, your project is going to be, actually, let me just go ahead and change this while I'm sitting here right now, while I do the video. This is going to be due on February 26th. Okay, and it says no weekend work. If it comes down to it and you feel like you need to work over the weekend, I'm not going to fault you for that. But I want to see you working in class. Often what's happened this year is we have students that blow off classwork and say, I'll do it over the weekend, and then the weekend comes and they never do it. And you may be one of those folks that I'm talking about. So I'd rather you do it in class and just use class time wisely. So if the project's turned in late, you will be required to present your work to the entire class, and it will be counted extremely late. Since it's a test grade, you really can't afford to have a late grade. Just like other previous projects we've done, it really does impact your overall grade when you turn in something late, because it starts to dock off starting with about 20 points after the first day. So after, probably 3 days, I'm not going to take it, and it's going to end up being a 0. So you want to make sure you turn all this stuff in on time. So hopefully that gives you enough as far as instructions go. Here's some other examples. Some of the DBQ, in case you're unaware of what a DBQ is, or you've been having trouble answering those. But I think because of our primary source analysis experience so far, I think you should be fine on those. Here's an example of a timeline illustrated. And here's an example of a poster. Now, this one is obviously not in as much detail as you'll need, but a campaign poster just as a very simple example. So if you have any questions, if I'm not here and you're listening to this video, you can feel free to send me a Schoology message. I can't guarantee I'll get back to you, as quickly as I would if I were at school. Hopefully within 24 hours, I'll be able to get back with you. So make sure if you're sending questions, if you're sending a message, that it is important, that it's significant, that it's something that maybe the sub can't answer for you, or one of the other text history teachers couldn't answer for you in the moment. But good luck on your project, and we'll see you guys soon.